Hi everyone, I hope you guys are all well. I'm shooting this on Sunday evening, but I'm probably not going to upload it until Monday after work because today my broadband has been going absolutely crazy and I don't know how long it'll take me to upload, and it's usually slow anyway, so it takes forever to upload even a single video. So yeah, I'm going to try at the moment to upload my announcement of my next video, but it's possible that might fail because of my broadband. So you might be seeing one of my videos tonight on Sunday, or you might be seeing this and my announcement video on Monday. But yes, so just so you know, that's what's going on my broadband in case I'm not able to get these videos uploaded. But anyway, enough about that. I'm here to talk about the book I've been reading this week, which has really only been kind of like the past 3 days because my work life has just been absolutely mental, so I haven't really been able to do reading. So I've really had a chilled weekend and then Friday afternoon off and just read, and the book I got to read was Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. This is her debut novel, and I picked it up. My sister had read it, and we went into a bookshop. We met up with each other earlier this year, and we walked in a bookshop, and she picked it up and like thrust it into my chest and went, "Buy this! You have to buy this book." And so I finally sat down and I read it, and I found it so interesting. Right. First off, marketing was slightly wrong with this book. When I mean that, not the cover art or anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that when my sister gave me this book to buy, all of pretty much every window of this Waterstones that we went to was just covered with stacks of this book, and there was this giant poster with like, 5-star, 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 just like bang, 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 all the way down this poster. And every single one of the reviews was one word, by various people from various papers and, writers, well-known writers and that. And they all said funny. And no offense to those people, but this isn't a funny book. It has funny moments. But it's not like a Sophie Kinsella. It's not a rom-com, chick lit kind of book. This has got a weight to it. And as my sister said in a video that we've done previously, I can't remember what on earth the video was, but I was showing the books that I had bought, which included this one, and she said, "Look at this. The cover is a house made of matches. Does this look like a funny book from the cover?" No, it certainly doesn't. It has its funny moments, but it's not a funny book. So I just wanted to clear that up for a start. Now, this follows a girl called Eleanor Oliphant who lives alone. She's quite socially awkward. She's quite isolated, and she doesn't understand really the world that she's in. Like she sees things like, at one point she needs to buy a computer, and she goes into the shop and the guy's saying, "Okay, do you want a tablet, a laptop, a desktop?" And she's like, "I just want something that I can use to connect to the internet." She can't understand any further, and another point she needs a phone and she can't understand the concept of tariffs and packages and stuff like this. So she kind of she's kind of alien in our world in a sense, but that doesn't mean that she's an alien personality. She just sees the world slightly different than everybody else, and they say that's because of her being cut off from the world. She just goes every weekday, should I say, to work, goes home, has an evening at home, spends her weekends at home, and she only really goes out to work, and even then she doesn't talk to people who she works with. And one day there's a new person who joins the firm where she works at, called Raymond, who works in IT, and when they're walking down the road, a man collapses in the street in front of them, and it's what happens with them, that man, and what it does to Eleanor and her life going forward, how it affects her, and how she blossoms into this beautiful flower. But what I love about this story is the fact that Eleanor blossoms on her own accord. She's not doing it because, like, what I mean by that is, if you think of something like My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I know it's a film rather than a book, but it's the first thing that popped into my head. The main character, can't remember her name, but you guys know who I mean. She sees this guy who she really likes, and she's like, oh my god, he's amazing, but he wouldn't like an ugly duckling like me. And so she transforms herself because of that. Whereas Eleanor, okay, she has this thing for a musician, but that isn't what sets her off on this reinventing herself and becoming who she really is. It's her courage, it's her wanting to take the leap, not doing it to make someone else be attracted to her. And I really love that. I just, yeah, that made me beam. As I said, it had its funny moments, and I love those funny moments. I love the sad moments. But what is so extraordinary about Gail's, this is her debut novel, and I'm really excited to read what she does in the future, what she publishes in the future. She has such an interesting technique of writing, and I don't know if it's just because of this story, because of what it covers, because of who Eleanor is. There is this great big section in the first chunk of the book, which is called Good Days, and then there's this section that's Bad Days, and the shift between those two and how the writing changes and it darkens and the scenery darkens suddenly. It's just drop of a hat, it happens, and you're like, Jesus, it really takes you aback. And then when she reveals stuff about Eleanor going on near the end, I was gasping that certain events happened. I was so taken aback by the ending. I adored the ending, but the stuff that happens, I haven't felt that in a long while. Usually, that you get that thing also like in movies as well as books where you can see something coming, or you guess what the situation was, like but I couldn't necessarily guess it with Eleanor. Apart from one thing about what happened with Eleanor, I figured that one out, but the thing that connected to that, I had no idea. So that threw me off tilter. It was ridiculous. It's so well written. It's amazing, and I want to just read. This is just one paragraph, and this is in the Bad Day section. I'm not going to explain what is going on in this scene, because to do that, I'm going to have to spoil a lot, and I don't want to spoil you guys if you haven't read this book and wanting to. But this is just an example of her amazing rug pulling kind of writing and such. So she says, there are so many liquids and substances inside me, and I try to list them all as I lie here. There's earwax, the yellow pus that festers inside spots, blood, mucus, urine, feces, bile, saliva, tears. I'm a butcher shop window of organs, large and small, pink, grey, red. All of this is jumbled up inside bone, encased in skin, then covered with fine hair. The skin bag is flawed, speckled with moles, freckles, little broken veins, and scars, of course. I think of a pathologist examining this carcass, noting every detail, weighing each organ. Meat inspection, fail. That just... I read that and I had to stop for a minute and take that in. That threw me. I was so taken aback by this, and the fact that Eleanor, to get another reference kind of to how Eleanor is, she reminded me a lot of Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory when I first read this, and I'm not talking because of her smartness, that kind of thing, of that debate of, is Sheldon Cooper, does he have Asperger's syndrome, stuff like that. Not that, his social awkwardness and how he corrects people, and how he is very much being prompt on time. Like, there's this fantastic bit in this book that I loved, where she's going with Raymond to a party thing, and he said he'll be there at 7 o'clock, and he turns up at 7:15, and she said the party starts at 7. We're 15 minutes late. You do realise that is so rude. And he went, nobody turns up at a party on time. It's ridiculous. Everybody knows that if it starts at 7, you turn up about 7:30. Maybe later. It's just what you do. So, well, what's the point of setting the time at 7 then, if everyone's going to turn up at 7:30? She can't understand it. So from that perspective, that's what I mean by how she's like Sheldon Cooper. But this was just an absolute joy to read. I didn't cry. I was expecting that I would cry because of the way that my sister was talking about it, and how I think she said she cried when she read it. But I didn't cry. I felt this warm, fuzzy feeling inside. And as somebody who also, because this covers a lot about what does it mean to be alone and to be lonely, as somebody who lives alone, who's not in a relationship, I hate that there are people, in my life, and even total strangers, who, when I get asked, oh, are you in a relationship or whatever, and I say no, and then, oh, kind of, oh, your time will come and all this on. It's like, well, no, hang on, that just because I live alone and I'm not in a relationship, that doesn't mean that I am lonely. And that thing of that kind of, Eleanor has the same thing, where she says, like, just because I'm not in a relationship, it doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. And what if I don't want to be in a relationship with someone? And I loved that. I felt a bit more of a connection to Eleanor, because I kind of have that same thing. Not to the same degree as Eleanor, because she's got no family, she has no friends, she has nobody in her life. I have, obviously my sister, my family, I've got friends and all that lot, and I like to go out to theatre, cinema, all that lot. So we are very different, but the same, we're kind of similar. And I really love that she was asking those questions, and she is a wonderful heroine to have in literature at the moment. I am so excited for whatever Gail writes next. I do feel, though, that there could be a bit of pressure for her with, like, how The Girl on the Train, for example, how that was everywhere, and it was so huge, and then there was the film, and it was still huge, and there was the whole pressure of her bringing out a second book. I have a feeling that the same thing is going to happen with Gail Honeyman. The rights for adapting this have been sold to Reese Witherspoon, who's looking to adapting it at the moment, and so we'll just have to see what happens with that. But this is like this has been everywhere since it came. Well, I've noticed it everywhere since it came out in paperback. I've not seen it in hardback, and I've seen that the covers that people have, I've seen on like Goodreads and stuff, stuff like that, with a different cover. But I don't know if that's the hardback cover, or if it's because it's in different territories, they've got, the different covers. I don't know, but I've only seen it absolutely everywhere since it's gone into paperback. So I don't know if that's just, a sign of them pushing it as a paperback or whatever. But the fact that it is so everywhere and everyone is talking about it, and there's so many people in like Facebook book club that I'm a member of who have read it, who are reading it and such, and now I've read it. I'm glad I've read it, and I have a feeling that Gail might have that same pressure about her second book. But this is, I mean, I really liked Girl on the Train. I thought it was a good book. I wasn't like entirely blown away by it, but it was pretty well written. Whereas this, I really liked this book. It's quirky and quite unconventional. But this had more of a wow effect, and really made me, when I had stopped, when I finished it, I kind of had to take a deep breath, and I was thinking about it, like, wow kind of moment. So I really feel that she's got such promise as a writer going forward, and I can't wait to see what she produces next. And yeah, Gail, I'm so excited. I'm so thank you for writing this book. She's actually going to be coming to the Cheltenham Literature Festival in October, so I think I'm going to be getting a ticket to see her and hear her talk about this. And I don't know if she's promoting a new book or if it's just to promote this one. I have absolutely no idea. Well, the brochure comes out next month, so I'll be able to find out, sure. But yes, I would definitely read this again. There were so many gorgeous moments and such quirky, unconventional stuff like the SpongeBob SquarePants balloon and the cats, the biscuits, that kind of little things. As she says, it's strange how the little things in life can really make a big difference on somebody, and it's true. And Gail praises those kind of things, and it was wonderful, absolutely wonderful to read. So I definitely read this again. I definitely recommend it. And yeah, if you haven't read it and you're thinking about it, enjoy the ride. So that was my thoughts on Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. Have you read this book? I'd love to know what you think. Leave me a comment in the comments box below, or give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, entirely up to you. I'll let you decide. And as I said, I'm uploading my gonna upload my announcement video now. I've already filmed it, and hopefully my broadband will be okay for this evening, and I'll get this uploaded after work on Monday. All right, guys. Bye.